After the video spread, Byron's wife deactivated her social media.
We feel for her. So
Yes.
The CEO, Andy Byron, just released a statement where he apologizes to his partner, his kids, and his company.
The camera panned across the crowd, searching for a happy couple. Thousands cheered, lights danced in the air, and Coldplay's music pulsed through the stadium. Then it happened, the moment no one saw coming. The kiss cam locked in on a man and a woman, seated just close enough to raise eyebrows. The crowd cheered, but something was off. She looked away. He dropped his head. And then Chris Martin, with perfect timing and a mic in hand, said, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
It's the latter, Chris.
It seems to be the latter, this is a kiss cam catastrophe. This couple was caught on the big screen at the Coldplay concert in Boston last night.
The stadium erupted in laughter. But the joke didn't end there. That one unscripted comment would detonate the most unexpected scandal of the year. Within hours, it wouldn't just be Coldplay fans talking. It would be corporate lawyers, gossip blogs, shareholders, divorce attorneys, and eventually Andy Byron himself, begging the world for forgiveness. Andy Byron wasn't just some random guy caught on camera. He was the CEO of Astronomer, a rising tech company worth tens of millions. He had a polished image, a high-powered job, a picture-perfect family, and a reputation for being one of Silicon Valley's most respected innovators. But all of that began to unravel the moment that concert footage hit social media. Because the woman next to him on the Jumbotron, that wasn't his wife. It was Kristen Kitt, the company's head of human resources.
A manager at a Coldplay concert being caught on the kiss cam having an affair. I would have thought it's the most obvious thing, the first rule, if you probably shouldn't have an affair in the first place, but if you're going to have
Probably shouldn't go to a Coldplay concert.
In a matter of minutes, TikTok detectives and Reddit sleuths did what they do best. Faces were reverse searched. Wedding photos were unearthed. LinkedIn profiles confirmed what many feared. Both Andy and Kristen were married, just not to each other. And suddenly, what should have been a lighthearted concert moment turned into the most viral workplace scandal of the year. While Andy was ducking behind stadium railings, the internet went into overdrive. The clip spread like wildfire. Twitter threads dissected every frame. Astronomer CEO caught cheating on kiss cam started trending. Then came the fallout. Kristen froze in the video, visibly panicked. Andy looked like a deer in headlights. And the real story? It wasn't just about cheating. It was about betrayal, power dynamics, and a billion-dollar business now caught in the crosshairs of public scrutiny.
Seemed like they did not want to be seen. Well, the two people appear to be the CEO of a software development firm and his head of HR.
But as the cameras zoomed in on Andy and Kristen, one person wasn't in the frame. Megan Carrion Byron, Andy's wife. And what she did next, with 0 words and maximum impact, flipped the narrative completely. She didn't rant, she didn't go public, she simply removed Byron from her name online. Her Instagram went private, her Facebook disappeared, and the internet instantly took her side. But this was only the opening act. The kiss cam moment may have sparked the fire, but what came after? The leaks, the apology, the internal chaos, turned this scandal into a career-ending storm. And the apology? Well, that part is where things really start to unravel. The moment that video hit TikTok, everything changed. What started as a funny concert quip became a digital manhunt. Viewers slowed down the footage, zoomed in on facial expressions, and connected the dots faster than any PR team could respond.
Saying, quote, I want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. You're in a public place, man.
Within hours, Andy Byron's face was plastered across social media, side by side with wedding photos, press headshots, and boardroom clips. People weren't just angry, they were invested. And when they discovered the woman sitting beside him, Kristen Kitt, wasn't just any coworker but the head of HR at his company, the tone shifted from gossip to outrage. The same executives trusted to enforce company policy were now being exposed for breaking every rule they were supposed to uphold. One user on Reddit wrote, when HR is part of the affair, it's not just personal, it's a liability. And that comment alone got over 30,000 upvotes in a single day. But here's where things got really wild. While Kristen and Andy were still reeling from the exposure, Megan Byron made her silent move. No statements, no interviews, just a subtle deletion of her last name from Instagram. And somehow, that hurt more than any screaming match could have. The internet immediately rallied behind her. Strangers flooded old photos with hearts. Others started tagging her in posts calling her graceful, classy, and strong.
What are you thinking?
You're not.
Tens of thousands of people there.
The quiet dignity of her response didn't just win sympathy, it made the betrayal feel 10 times worse. While Andy was caught hiding behind stadium railings, Meghan was choosing silence over spectacle. That contrast only made the scandal more explosive. And once former employees started weighing in, the conversation took a sharp turn from personal drama to corporate rot. Insiders leaked everything. Reports of Andy showing special treatment toward Kristen had apparently been whispered about for months. Some claimed she got promotions no one else understood. Others said it was an open secret at the company that something was going on. The power imbalance, the secrecy, and the HR connection lit a firestorm across platforms like LinkedIn and Blind, where tech workers openly debated whether this kind of behavior should be grounds for immediate termination. One former staffer even claimed, "This wasn't just a lapse in judgment, it created a toxic work environment." And in the middle of it all, Astronomers Board went silent. No statements, no damage control, just quiet profile scrubbing.
Yeah, getting some bad advice. Maybe his HR person can help him. All right.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on.
Kristen's name was quickly wiped from the company leadership page. Andy was placed on leave. And yet, no one officially acknowledged the affair. That silence? It spoke volumes. But wait, the worst was yet to come. Because just as the internet was settling into its rage cycle, Andy Byron did something no one expected. He apologized, publicly, directly, and in doing so, he opened a brand new chapter in the scandal, not just with his wife, but with the entire world watching. When Andy Byron's apology hit the internet, it wasn't in the form of a Notes app screenshot or a carefully worded PR statement buried on his LinkedIn. No, this one was different. It felt desperate, like a man trying to hold on to whatever pieces of his life he hadn't already lost. "To my wife Meghan, our children, and everyone I've disappointed," it began, "I am truly sorry. What was supposed to be a private lapse in judgment became something far more damaging, and I take full accountability." For a moment, some people believed it. The language was personal. It didn't hide behind legal speak or vague euphemisms. He directly acknowledged what he did. He named Meghan, he admitted to hurting his kids, and for the first time since the scandal broke, Andy didn't look like a CEO trying to manage a crisis. He looked like a husband trying to fix what he'd broken. But the internet isn't so quick to forgive. Not when the entire scandal was caught on camera in HD and projected to 60,000 people with Coldplay's frontman delivering the punchline. And here's where things get even messier, because the apology may have been aimed at Meghan, but the damage wasn't just personal, it was financial. Public records estimated Andy's net worth at $60 million. And now, sources close to Meghan say divorce papers are already being drafted. Here's the twist. There's no confirmed prenup. That means she could be entitled to half of everything, $30 million, just like that. For someone like Andy Byron, whose public image was carefully built around discipline, vision, and control, this was a catastrophic collapse. One insider told Hello Magazine, "Andy's been telling people privately that he feels like he's lost everything. His family, his career, his credibility, it's all gone." And to make things worse, his departure from Astronomer wasn't exactly a clean exit. According to multiple sources familiar with the situation, Andy didn't just resign, he was pushed. The board reportedly wanted to move quickly and quietly. Severance was likely offered not as a reward, but as insurance, a way to avoid lawsuits and silence potential retaliation. One source explained, "It's not about rewarding bad behavior, it's about closing the door before it swings wide open." Think about that, a company willing to pay millions just to make someone leave quietly. And here's the part that really stings. Andy may still remain on the board. That means while the public watches his downfall, he could still be sitting in private meetings, making decisions, collecting checks, just hidden from view. But public trust? That's a different story. And then, of course, there's Kristen Kitt, the other half of the viral moment. The woman who's been silent since the footage went live. No posts, no statements, no denial, just gone. Her name scrubbed from Astronomer's leadership page, her presence vanished, and what that silence says is louder than any apology Andy could ever write. You'd think after a public scandal, a humiliating apology, and a corporate downfall, the story would start to fade. But no, Chris Martin wasn't done yet. Not intentionally, of course. Coldplay kept touring city to city, selling out stadiums, but during one of their next shows, Chris took a moment to interact with the crowd. He smiled, scanned the audience, then said, almost too casually, "Don't worry, unless you've done something sketchy when the cameras roll. The crowd roared, TikTok exploded, and just like that, the wound Andy Byron hoped to stitch shut was ripped wide open. Chris never said Andy's name. He didn't have to. Everyone knew. The audience knew. The internet knew. And Andy, he knew too. It wasn't just a callback. It was a cultural punchline. And for a man already buried under headlines, lawsuits, and a disintegrating marriage, that little jab from the stage might have hurt more than anything else. Here's where the real humiliation began. It wasn't just about infidelity anymore. It became a meme. The Very Shy clip was set to Coldplay's own songs. Fans remixed it, Instagram reels, parody videos, duets on TikTok, all pointing at Andy's infamous duck and cover reaction. He didn't just cheat, he flinched. And that flinch is now immortal. Every time he walks into a room, someone's going to remember that Jumbotron moment. It's followed by the kind of silence only a stadium full of people can deliver when they collectively realize, oh, this isn't cute. From tech boards to late-night comedy shows, everyone had something to say. Andy Byron, who once headlined innovation conferences and mentored startup founders, was now a punchline. In an age where attention is currency, his name was being spent in the worst way possible. Meanwhile, Kristen Kitt remained the invisible storm at the center of it all. Still no posts, no appearances. Her social media went dark. Her professional presence erased from Astronomer's website. According to insiders, she might be negotiating an exit, a quiet departure wrapped in legal agreements and non-disclosure clauses. Because, let's not forget, when HR is caught in the scandal, the legal exposure becomes nuclear. It's not just about ethics, it's about liability. Company lawyers know this, investors know this, and the longer Kristen stays silent, the more the speculation grows. Was this a one-time lapse, or something that had been going on for much longer, under the company's nose? But in the middle of the chaos, there's one person the public hasn't stopped rooting for, Megan Byron. No clickbait interviews, no media circuits, just grace. Her only statement has been her silence, and it's been deafening. She's been seen out with her kids, avoiding press, focusing on family. That quiet resilience has made her the unspoken hero of the entire scandal. People are calling her the new queen of quiet power. And every move Andy makes now is being measured against her stillness. His apology didn't erase the betrayal. If anything, it highlighted just how much he lost. But what happens when the memes fade, the headlines disappear, and the divorce gets finalized? The fallout is far from over. The dust may have settled, but the wreckage is still very real. Andy Byron has officially resigned from Astronomer, not in some grand press conference, but in a quiet internal move meant to calm investors and get the company back on track. Multiple sources say the decision came with strings attached, a generous severance package, confidentiality clauses, and a likely guarantee he'll never be the public face of the company again. He may still sit on the board, quietly collecting checks behind the scenes, but the image of Andy Byron as a respected tech visionary, that's gone. And while companies can sometimes recover from scandal, individuals like Andy don't get to walk away untouched, especially not when the entire internet watched them crash in real time. That clip doesn't just live on TikTok. It lives in boardroom jokes, investor whispers, and every future job interview he'll ever walk into. And Kristen Kitt? Her future's just as murky. Though there's been no official statement, sources inside Astronomer claim she's in the middle of negotiating a quiet exit, one with heavy NDAs and potentially even legal settlements to minimize blowback. Because when HR gets caught up in an inappropriate relationship with the CEO, it opens a legal minefield. Employment lawyers have already pointed out that this kind of situation can tank a company's reputation, not just for poor judgment, but for the appearance of favoritism, toxicity, and ethical blindness. Kristen may resurface in a different industry someday, under a different name, but for now, her silence is the loudest confirmation yet. There are no winners in this scandal, just consequences, except maybe one. Megan Byron, the wife who didn't say a word, didn't monetize her pain, and didn't play the public victim. She just moved on, with quiet strength, sharp decisions, and a fierce kind of dignity that made the internet fall in love with her. Her handling of the betrayal, especially in contrast to Andy's deer-in-the-headlights panic, gave the world someone to respect. And if reports are true that there's no prenup, then Megan may soon walk away with up to $30 million. Deservedly so, because while Andy was crafting public apologies and ducking behind stadium railings, Megan was protecting her kids and rebuilding her life brick by brick. So can Andy Byron fix this? That's the question. Can a man who built an empire off credibility and trust come back from a kiss cam clip that destroyed both? Maybe. Time has a strange way of erasing things, but the internet doesn't. That video will live forever. That awkward duck, that freezing smile, that one perfectly timed line from Chris Martin, they're now part of his legacy. Some executives recover from scandal, but not everyone becomes a meme. And Andy Byron, he didn't just get caught cheating, he got caught cheating on a jumbotron while Coldplay played in the background and the whole world watched.